How's everybody doing? I'm not here today, and we'll be working on a project called Tiny Planets. And basically what this is you're going to get really creative here and create your own planet and populate it with various characters that you feel might match, or you could get totally creative with this and just do something wild and crazy. All right, so how do we go ahead and start this? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm showing you this in Photopea. It works the same way in Photoshop. We're going to go to File and New. And I have typed in Tiny Planet in inches. What I want to make it is 10 inches by 10 inches by 300 with a white background. I'm going to press create. What I've done is I've actually gone ahead and collected a whole bunch of really cool images for you. Some of them are long and stretched out. Those are the ones that you will be using, the horizontal stretched out ones to make your worlds. The other items are things like just different beasts and kind of images that might match to make your world more interesting and creative. So today we're going to be making Godzilla, or I should say King Kong in LA. So I'm going to pick the LA JPEG that I have in here, and I'm going to drag it to that 10 inch by 10 inch format. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stretch it. It's going to look really distorted, but that's the fun part of this. And make it fit within that square and press the check mark. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is go to Edit, Transform, and I want to rotate it 180 degrees, which will turn it upside down. And here's the cool part, guys. Here's the magic. If you go to the filter and you go to Distort, there's something called polar coordinates. So you want to click on that. And I've got here rectangle to polar, and you can see that I've created this really cool planet. Now I'm going to do a little bit of cloning. You guys should know how to do this. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and take a brush and make it bigger. And I'm working kind of dorky here, kind of big so that you guys can see it. And again, to use the clone tool, you press on Alt and you paint with it. And I didn't rasterize it, and Photopea is reminding me, yes, I need to rasterize you. Okay, so let's try this again. Alt, I'm dragging it over to the area that I want to fix, and mesh in. Same thing with the planet. Now, I'm not doing a really super job here because I know that you guys are going to do your best, and I just want to do a demo here and get through it without going through too much. All right, I would say that's decent. It's not perfect, but it's okay. I might want to take some of this glow and clone it over here too. All right, so I've got LA. Now what I'm going to do is take King Kong and drag him and hit the check mark. Now we can make this guy bigger, so we're going to do that. Edit, Transform Scale. And again, I will have these in written as well as this little video here. But I want to get rid of that white background. So I want to make sure that I'm on the layer of the gorilla and it's rasterized, which I can see here. I need to rasterize it because the little box was there. And I'm going to get rid of that white background. So what I'm going to do is press on 1, 2, 3, the fourth one down in Photopea to the magic wand. And I'm going to feather this. I want to feather this probably about 10. And let's see what happens if I go ahead and hit the background. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but it lassoed out the white. And I'm going to hit delete. And then I'm going to hit delete again. And then I'm going to hit delete again. So that's 3 times that I hit it to get rid of the white. And you can do that. Now I'm going to go to select and deselect so that I've got Mr. King Kong here. Oop, I forgot to go into this area. So let's do that too. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to give it another one. 4. Okay. And select and deselect. And now I've got this really cool image of King Kong that I can put wherever I want. I'm seeing an artifact around the edge here. So I don't know if you guys could see this with the video that I'm making, but I'm seeing like this white line. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that. Okay. So here's King Kong. And he's in the middle of LA. And I'm going to make him a little bit bigger. edit, transform, scale. I'm going to keep my finger on the shift key. I kind of like that right there. Now you can do other things too. You might want to play with the perspective, edit, transform, and go to the perspective and maybe change his feet so that they're smaller and his head is bigger. So let's try that. So if you play with the perspective, it'll really look like he's popping out of LA. And the way I did that again is I went to edit, transform, and I chose perspective. And I made the perspective wider at his head and skinnier at the bottom. I like that. I think it looks pretty good. So the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and make sure that I have the cloud brushes. What I've done here, I'm going to go ahead and close out of here, is I've already downloaded the clouds ABR file from the zip drive. And what I'm going to do is just go to File in Photopea. It's a little bit different. File and Open. And on the desktop, I'll see that ABR file. If I press on it and press Open, it should say something like Load Clouds. Yes, I want to do that. And the brush has been added. Where are you going to find it? You're going to find it probably at the bottom of your brush selection. So I'm going to go here to the left-hand side and change my color selection to white because I want the clouds to be white. I'm going to click on my brush tool and I'm going to go ahead and look for the brushes. If you scroll down to the bottom here, you should see them, and there they are. Now I'm going to play with the opacity because clouds aren't totally opaque. What we're going to do is make them less opaque. They're not 100% opaque. We're going to make this brush really big so we can see it. And let's choose it again. Down here, we're going to use this guy. And I'm going to go ahead and start clicking around King Kong's feet to kind of make it look like he's in the clouds. And I'm going to change the size of my brush now and then. And you can also change your brush a little bit if you want. And now I'm going to make the opacity even stronger. And I'm going to make my brush a little bit bigger. So it's going to be pretty big. All right, so that looks pretty good. And there we go. I'm going to make a couple of clouds up there. I think I'm going to change the clouds by pulling down here. Let's use this one. And I'm going to put another one down there. And let's use even another one. This is a lot of fun. Make it bigger. Fluffier. Add some to the fluffy clouds here. And I think I'm starting to look like I like this. All right, so there's Mr. King Kong finished. Now, your goal is to create 3 tiny worlds. And I have various horizontal layouts that you can use. And again, if you get stumped, I have everything written down in the lesson plan so that you can go step by step. But you should end up with 3 images that have 3 crazy things like this happening in it for a grade. And when I come back, we'll take a look at all the cool things that you guys have come up with. And just let me open up the file here again on the tiny planets, just so that you're really aware. I have something like the jungle, LA, the ocean, palm trees, planet, and here's some clip art that I went ahead and downloaded of sharks and T-Rexes and pterodactyls and biplanes for King Kong. Make sure that if you download something that it's from a free source. And I know those of you at home can use Pixabay. Here in class, we have to use Vecteezy. So go ahead. This is what it should look like as a final project, which is a lot of fun. And I shall see you on Friday.